Kevin Zay. I was wondering if you have ever run across people who come to believe in a different religion after leaving Scientology. I would think one would tend to stay non-religious or even become an atheist after leaving such a high-control group. Great question, Kevin. And I haven't done any big, broad census or survey, but what I have seen from my own purview, from my own experience and observation is that some people do go back to the religion they were involved in before they were a Scientologist. Some people do newly find religion for themselves. And some people don't want to have anything to do with organized religion anymore, and they stay away from it. And I would be in that third category. I think I have very good reasons to not trust organized religious activities. And it's not just Scientology. I mean, you see every single day in the media fundamentalist Christian organizations here in the United States doing the most ridiculous things, blatant, gross violations of separation of church and state because they feel entitled to, because 70, some odd percent of the United States are Christians. And these fundies, I'm not painting a big broad brush here to all Christians, because I know all Christians are not this way. But the fundamentalists and the evangelicals, they drive me crazy. I can't stand those people. So just the entitlement that they feel, and then the persecution complex. I mean, my God. Anyway, you're not asking me for my opinions about that. I'm sorry I went off on that. As far as where former Scientologists go, okay, Leah Remini, for example, went to Catholicism. I know a couple other people who are former Sea Org members that I knew when I was in, who are now Christians, strong Christians. Like, they talk about it, they post memes about it, we're Facebook friends. So I have friends, I don't want anybody getting the wrong idea that I can't be friends with Christians or something. I absolutely can. I can be friends with anybody. I don't really care what your religious beliefs are, as long as you're not trying to foist them off on me. That's the only thing that I get riled up about with people in other religions, is they feel that freedom of religion only applies to them, and their religious beliefs trump everybody else's. And that kind of intolerance is just not, I'm not down with that. And I think the majority of us are not, okay? Just to be, really super clear about that. There are certainly trust issues that I have seen with others, if this isn't understandable after coming out of a destructive cult situation, right? I mean, where you are in this abusive relationship with this religious organization, you come out of that, you don't want to jump from one cult to another. And as I've said before, that's how I discovered critical thinking, was how do I avoid doing that? That was the burning question in my mind when I got out of Scientology was, holy shit, how do I make sure that I never, ever have this happen to me again? And, and 7 years later, here I am, having talked about and studied and gone over all the stuff I've been talking about. And I'm still not particularly interested in trying to find somebody who's going to tell me all about my spiritual nature or my relationship with God or how I should live my life according to their ideas. I'm just not interested at all. I'm very, very happy being the master of my own religious and spiritual destiny, and that's kind of how I approach it personally. I'm wide open to all kinds of ideas, and I'll listen to just about anything that anybody has to say, at least initially, until they go into crazy land. But I'm, so I'm willing to be, I'm willing to change my mind. I'm willing to look at things, but I'm not looking for religion at this point. So that's my take on it. I really can only really speak intelligently about my own views on this, and from what I've seen from others. I've seen that other people have gone into, religious beliefs and stuff, and I'm great. More power to you. If it makes a person happy, if it assists their recovery from Scientology or whatever other destructive cult they were involved in, great. I have seen people in some of the support groups on Facebook. But support groups, I mean like the supporters of Leah Remini's show or the fans of the Scientology and the Aftermath show, those Facebook groups. I've seen religious types come in there and talk to former members and sort of preach at them, and I think that's highly inappropriate. So I think if somebody's reaching or looking and they're asking questions and they're reaching for something, fine, then talk about it. But don't go pushing, your religion on some guy who just got out of a destructive cult situation. That's just not a good idea. It's just not. At least that's my opinion about it. So Kevin, thank you very much for your question. I hope that gives you some ideas of where my thoughts are on all of that.